the man in the window. It was late, and Lily was exhausted. She had driven 4 hours to get to her sister's house and was now just 20 minutes from her destination, but the long, empty stretch of country road was making her sleepy. Fields on either side of her car seemed to stretch into darkness, unbroken by streetlights or houses. Every now and then, her headlights would catch the twisted shapes of trees, their branches reaching out like fingers. The clock on her dashboard read 1:13 a.m. She turned up the radio, hoping the music would help her stay awake, but static greeted her instead. She'd driven out of range for any station. Silence filled the car, amplifying the hum of the engine and her own breaths. As she drove, her mind began to drift. The quiet road lulled her, and her eyelids grew heavy. She blinked hard, forcing herself to focus. Just 20 more minutes, she reminded herself. Suddenly, she saw something in her rearview mirror, a dark shape, like a person, standing by the side of the road. But as she glanced back, the figure was gone. Her heart skipped a beat. Had she imagined it? Shaking off the unease, she focused on the road. But a few minutes later, she caught sight of him again, standing closer this time. He was tall, dressed in a dark coat, his face obscured by shadows. Her pulse quickened. She could feel her skin prickling, a deep sense of dread settling over her. Lily sped up, telling herself she was just tired, that her mind was playing tricks on her. She checked her mirror again, and to her relief, the road was empty. No figure, no shadows, nothing. But just as she exhaled, something caught her eye, a movement outside the passenger side window. A face. Her blood ran cold as she glanced over, barely able to make out the pale shape of a man's face staring in through the glass, his eyes dark and fixed on her. He was impossibly close, his face pressed to the window as if he were clinging to the side of her car. The man's expression was blank, lifeless, but his eyes were sharp, unwavering, like he could see straight into her soul. His mouth stretched into a small, eerie smile, sending a chill down her spine. Lily gasped, jerking the wheel, nearly veering off the road. The face disappeared as suddenly as it had appeared. She slowed down, heart racing, scanning the road and the field beside her car. But the man was gone, as if he had never been there. She took a deep breath, her hands trembling on the wheel. Stay calm, she told herself. Just keep driving. Her mind was racing, trying to make sense of what she'd seen. It had to be a hallucination, a trick of the light, or maybe a shadow. But deep down, she felt something else, a creeping fear that whatever she'd seen was real. She checked the rearview mirror again, and her stomach dropped. He was back. His face was in the back window now, pressed against the glass, his eyes watching her, following her every movement. She could see his breath fogging up the glass, see the lines of his pale face, and that same, unsettling smile. Lily floored the accelerator, heart pounding. Her car sped down the road, engine roaring as she tried to put as much distance as possible between herself and the figure. But every time she dared to glance in the mirror, he was there, closer than before, his face taking up more of the window, his mouth slowly widening into a smile that was too big, too wrong. It was then she noticed his hands, long, thin fingers pressing against the glass, his nails sharp and almost claw-like. She felt bile rise in her throat. She didn't dare look back again, but she could feel him watching her, his eyes burning into her, his fingers tapping softly against the glass. The tapping grew louder, insistent, echoing through the silence of the car. She could feel each tap in her chest, like a heartbeat, like he was knocking to come in. Then, the whisper started. It was faint at first, just a low murmur, but it grew louder, filling the car, seeming to come from all around her. She couldn't understand the words, but she felt the intent, a dark, pressing force, pulling her into the words, into his gaze. Lily. Her name. The voice was cold, hollow, a soft rasp that curled around her mind. She gripped the wheel tighter, her knuckles white, tears streaming down her face. She didn't know how he knew her name, didn't want to know. She just needed to keep driving, to get away from him. But the voice continued, whispering her name over and over, each syllable sending chills through her body. "Lily, let me in." She squeezed her eyes shut for a moment, desperation clawing at her. She was almost there, her sister's house couldn't be far. She sped down the road, praying she'd see the driveway, the lights, anything to show her she was close. Then she heard it, a scraping sound, like nails on glass. She looked down and froze. A hand was reaching in through the driver's side window, pale and thin, stretching toward her. Her mind screamed that the window was closed, that he couldn't get in, but the hand was there, the fingers brushing against her arm. She jerked away, veering off the road, narrowly missing a tree. The car skidded to a halt, and she sat there, breathing heavily, her body frozen with terror. When she looked up, the man was gone. The car was empty, silent, as if he'd never been there at all. Slowly, she started the car again, her heart still racing. She made it to her sister's house, barely able to hold back the sobs as she pulled into the driveway. Her sister opened the door, concerned, and Lily stumbled inside, locking every door, every window. She tried to explain, but the words felt hollow, unbelievable. Her sister assured her she was safe now, that it was just a bad dream, an overactive imagination. But that night, as Lily lay in the guest room, staring at the dark ceiling, she felt a familiar chill. The silence stretched around her, thick and heavy, pressing down like a weight. She knew she wouldn't sleep. And then, just as she started to drift off, she heard it, 3 faint taps on the window beside her bed. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe.